Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efene. Great Malabite.
Good morning, Ruben.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Tundu.
Good morning.
Yes, let's start with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of records. The lead story, Jubilations in Maiduguri as Yahaya emerges new army chief. Yes, General Farouk Yahaya was named the new chief of army staff yesterday. And that announcement was made through the defense headquarters. Now, other newspapers are also reporting this story expectedly. Now, the Guardian newspaper, Nigeria's The Guardian newspaper, fear of massive retirement grips officers as army gets new chief. Nigeria could lose over 30 generals in 4 months. Now, the Daily Sun, different figure, 45 generals to retire as Buhari names Yahaya army chief. Officers of courses 35, 36 most affected. Well, the Daily Trust putting the figure a bit lower, retirement dangles on 30 generals as Buhari appoints Yahaya chief of army staff. Expert APC set agenda for new army chief. He won't disappoint Nigerians' kinsmen. Now, the New Telegraph lowering the figures of generals to retire. Over 20 senior military officers may go as Buhari appoints Major General Yahaya as army chief. Yes, Vanguard also 20 generals may go as Buhari names Yahaya Yahaya new chief of army staff. Nigeria News Direct. APC expert tax new chief of army staff Yahaya on security. Yes, the president disappointed those who called him Papa Go Slow. Quickly, he has announced a replacement for the chief of army staff. And following a familiar path, he was the theater commander of Operation Hardin Kai in Maiduguri, Borno State, the operation battling insurgency in the northeast. Recall that Tanko Buratai, former military chief, was also theater commander. The late Atahiru Ibrahim was also a theater commander. So perhaps that is the road to the top of the military hierarchy these days, especially since we are still dealing with insurgency and banditry across the north. Now, yes, the new army chief is a brilliant soldier because looking at his CV, he passed his command exams with distinction. That's why you see PSS Dagger. That's how the military call that. Passed senior course, yes. He passed PSS Dagger. He passed that with distinction. But again, his job is well cut out. That the soldiers in Maiduguri were rejoicing, according to this day, because, yes, they believe. And he has shown it that he knows how to take care of his troops. And that happens to be why they were rejoicing. But again, he has to take care of the business at hand, bringing insurgency and banditry to their knees. And that is what we expect of this new army chief. But again, that so many generals will have to go if Yahaya has to follow tradition, because he is, of course, 37. And those, of course, 35 and 36 who are generals are likely to go. But why should this be is what perhaps we also need to interrogate, that they have to go. But again, their careers can still be saved if they are redeployed to tri-service sector of the military or redeployed to the defense headquarters, where they will be serving under the Chief of Defense Headquarters, General Lucky Rabo, who is of course 34. But those to be affected almost immediately happens to be Major General Ben Ahanatu, who is the Chief of Policy and Planning, as well as Major General Abubakar Maikobi, who is the commander of the Training and Doctrine Command, TRADOC, because both of them happen to be of course 35, classmates of the late Atahiru Ibrahim. Now, Reuben, Rufai, and Tundu. President Buhari did this very fast. Yes. And it means it is doable.
Yes.
You can bring some quick thinking into governance.
Yes. Well, we are advised that the president should act quickly and decisively, and it's instructive that within a week after that tragic incident, last Friday, the president has announced a replacement for the late Major General Ibrahim Atahiru. And as expected, the main issues that have come up have been about ethnicity and also religion. Ohaneze Ndigbo has complained that why wasn't somebody from another part of the country chosen. There are also stakeholders like Usita Chidoka who had also raised objections. Reno Omokri threw in the religious angle and said again the president has appointed a northern Muslim. But these are expected issues, drawing attention to the concerns about nepotism in Nigeria, as the Human Rights Association put it, that is Uriwa. But what everyone should be reminded of is the fact that the appointment is a prerogative of the president. He chooses who to lead the force at any particular time. And what he has done is to exercise his rights. The rest of it is politics, and it's about the national question. Now, the These Days story will seem to have shed better light on the matter in terms of all the reports that I have read. If you look at some of those, generals that were not chosen, again, ironically, it looks like it's a case of balancing, because the general from Kano State, there is already a service chief that is from Kano State. Major General Ben Ahanatu from Anambra, we were told that, in fact, he was already due for retirement. This Day story tried to break it down a little bit to show that some thinking has actually gone into the choice of Farouk Yahaya, who, again, if you look at his credentials, BA History, MA International Affairs and Diplomacy, and also in terms of experience, he's been Force Commander of the Multinational Joint Task Force. He's been commander of Operation Lafi Yadole, which was changed to Operation Handa Kai, which is where he is. He's been GOC 1 Div before he took that other appointment. He has won so many medals, of honor and service. So it's not as if, someone has just been chosen from a carpentry shop to come and lead the Nigerian army. In terms of credentials, he looks impressive. And we're even told that he's multilingual. He speaks Arabic, he speaks Hausa, he speaks English, he speaks Spanish. And we're told that his hobby is cracking jokes. Well, I hope, that's just by the way, because he's not been given an assignment to come and crack jokes. He's been given an assignment to come and crack the heads of terrorists and insurgents.
Yes, indeed. But I have to disagree with you. Yes, it's the president's prerogative to appoint who he wants, but it's also the president's prerogative by sworn oath to uphold the Constitution, which does enshrine federal character as a principle.
Well, Section 14, subsection 3 of the Constitution. But we can argue it again and again and again.
Okay, I just wanted to talk about this new strategy, but no time.